Verse 645. When dualism is cherished, the Alaya sets up in the manas the consciousness of an ego and its belongings, and the Vijnanas. When this is penetratingly perceived, they all subside. So in our practice, spiritual practice consists of this penetrating perception. So let's see how this verse helps. When dualism is cherished. Well, this is the dualism. Well, this is the dualism of a me here and a world out there. I've described it before as like a magnetic field. This is the triple world. Me here, the world there, and the relationship between the two. It's like a magnet with two poles, and our mind is locked in this. And when this has happened, it's described here as the Alaya setting up in the manas the consciousness of an ego and its belongings, and the Vijnanas. So this is the ego and the belongings. This is part of the relationship between the me here, the ego, and the world. So the Alaya sets up in the manas this consciousness of a me here trying to make it out there, trying to make a go of it and to survive. And the manas is the mind. The mind. It's the mind that gets absorbed in this activity of promoting the survival of the individual, not just on a physical level, because that's quite a natural level, but really what we mean is on a psychological level. Not much of our energy is actually taken up with survival unless you're living in some dreadful, war-torn, famine-ridden situation, in which case, yeah, that will take up most of your time. But if you're relatively comfortable physically, then most of your time is taken up with the survival of your ego, the survival of who you believe you are. This takes up all our emotional energy. It's rather a nervous, neurotic energy, paranoid energy. We need to feel good in ourselves, and we have our own standards by which, and we have our own standards, our own markers by which we measure that well-being. It might be in terms of property acquisition. If you're a particular sort of male, it might be in terms of your female conquests. Or if you're particularly insecure, it might be in terms of how many people you think love you, which can be quite nicely measured these days by number of friends you've got, friends in quotes, on Facebook, or how many followers you've got on Twitter, or how many subscribers you've got on YouTube. Come on, folks. Anyway, this can take up a lot of our energy, our mental and emotional energy. So this is the manas, and we're told that the Alaya sets this up. And the Alaya is mind itself. This is what we are wanting to turn our mind, the manas, towards. We need to look at the sun rather than what the sun illumines. we need to look directly once again at the sun of consciousness, which naturally radiates or emanates its creative energy. This is what's going on all the time. Consciousness is continuously flowing or manifesting. I was having a chat with my brother recently, and he didn't like the idea of flow because it implies time. He's got a point, but originally I used to talk about the field of experiencing, which is possibly a better way of talking about it. But then it's always changing. The field is always changing. Perhaps we don't need to think in terms of time. We don't need to think in terms of that change in time. The change comes simply from looking at things in different ways, which is what makes you apparently different from me and different from that person. They are all consciousness looking in different ways. They're all the Alaya setting up in the manas, the consciousness of an ego and its belongings, and the Vijnanas. And as I mentioned in the previous video, which covered the previous verse, these are the 6 sense organs, or 6 sense consciousnesses. It's best not to think in terms of organs, because all we really have is these apparently different consciousnesses. Consciousness of sights, consciousness of sounds, and so on. And the 6th one is consciousness of mental objects. The Vijnanas include the manas and the alaya. So, when this is penetratingly perceived, they all subside. This is when the manas once more turns to the alaya. This is when the mind once more turns to awareness. It's when the attention attends to itself. This is the practice, this is our spiritual practice, allowing the attention to attend to itself. And if we cannot completely open up to this practice, then it means we're not practicing as completely as we can be. It means there's still some mood going on, some failure to appreciate this awareness which is at the heart of all creation. There's still some mood going on, some habitual tone, some fundamental mood tone. Which is still drawing the manas, the mind, to itself. So we can't touch this awareness, but there's still a pull. There's still a pull, like a gravitational pull. But this is a practice. Observe that pull. Observe how it's the ego consciousness still doing its thing. And realize that regardless, that this mind can turn to happiness. No matter what is going on, we can now decide to be happy. And why stop at happiness? At this point, we can decide to be blissful. I'm taking my cue once again from Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher that I was talking about recently. But we can also describe this as the rainbow body and start exploring the different colours of this rainbow body. And this is what we can now enter into. This is what we can now identify with. This is the Alaya, but at this point we can call it chitta, which is mind only. Mind only. In mind only, we can allow bliss, one of the colours of the rainbow body, to manifest. We can allow love to manifest. We can allow humour to manifest. We can allow peace of mind to manifest. We can allow all-encompassing, all-embracing spaciousness to manifest. So this is our penetrating perception, and we can allow the ego consciousness, the me here and its belongings, the objective world, we can allow that to subside and abide, even for a short while, in the glorious rainbow body of the awareness which is hearing this. Take it with you.